I remember when Clara signed up for that drawing course. We both needed it, in a way. The routine of our 10-year marriage had settled deep into the floorboards of our house, familiar, dependable, and a little suffocating. Clara, always so full of warmth and creative energy, had started to fade behind tired eyes and small smiles. I encouraged her to do something for herself. "You've always loved sketching," I'd said. "Go for it. A little time for you." I didn't know how those words would haunt me. She picked a course at this boutique art studio downtown. It was run by a man named Victor Sinclair, a name as grandiose as the man himself, apparently. I only met him once, briefly, when I came to pick Clara up after her first class. Tall, silver-streaked hair, black turtleneck like he'd stepped out of an art magazine. His handshake was warm, confident. I remember thinking, he's a little too smooth for his own good, but I brushed it off. I trusted Clara. We trusted each other. For the first few weeks, it was great. Clara came home with charcoal-stained fingers and light in her eyes. She talked about perspective, shading, and how Victor's feedback helped her see the world differently. I was happy for her. Genuinely. But then, little things began to shift. She'd linger after class more often. Dinner would go cold while I waited. Her phone would buzz late at night, just quick little notifications she brushed off as course updates or group chats. I wanted to believe that was all it was. Then came the night she didn't come home. It was a Thursday. Clara texted me around 6 p.m. "Class is running long. Don't wait up. Love you." I didn't think much of it until midnight came and went. By 1 a.m., I was pacing the living room, calling her phone, getting voicemail. She stumbled in around 1:30 a.m., cheeks flushed, smelling of wine, not the usual scent of her studio. Her clothes looked off. Rumpled, hastily adjusted. I asked her where she'd been. She fed me a story about a class mixer and losing track of time. I wanted to believe her. But her eyes didn't meet mine. That was the crack. The one I couldn't plaster over. I started noticing more. New dresses I hadn't seen before. Makeup left on the bathroom counter when she never used to wear much. A shift in her body language, more distracted, almost guilty at times, then overcompensating with forced affection. It gnawed at me. I told myself not to jump to conclusions. Until the messages. I didn't mean to snoop. I swear I didn't. But one night, she left her tablet unlocked on the coffee table. A message popped up. "Last night was incredible. I can't stop thinking about you. Same time next week? Victor." My heart stopped. The room spun. I couldn't breathe. There it was. In black and white. My wife, my Clara, with him. I don't remember how long I sat there. My hand shook so badly I thought I might drop the tablet. Rage and grief tangled in my throat. When Clara came down the stairs and saw me with it in my hands, her face went ghostly pale. "I can explain," she started. I held up a hand. I couldn't bear to hear the words yet. "Don't," I whispered. "Not now." I left the house that night. Drove aimlessly for hours, my mind spiraling through every moment of our life together, now tainted by this revelation. How long? When did we start drifting so far apart? And how could she betray me with the very man I'd smiled at, welcomed when she told me about the course? The next few days were a haze. Clara tried to reach out, texts, voicemails, even coming by my office. But I couldn't face her. I needed time to think, to breathe. To figure out whether this was the end, or if there was anything left to salvage. And that's where I stood, adrift, shattered, and unsure if forgiveness was even an option. I wish I could tell you I made some grand decision in those first few days after finding out. That I had clarity, strength, resolve. The truth? I was a wreck. I stayed at a small motel outside the city. The room was sterile, the kind of place where time stands still. I barely ate. Sleep came in fragments. And when I did sleep, I'd jolt awake, haunted by images of Clara and Victor, words I'd read, moments replayed in my mind like some cruel film loop. She kept calling. I couldn't bring myself to answer. I knew if I heard her voice, the dam might break. I wasn't ready for that. But on the fourth day, after yet another sleepless night, I got in the car and drove home. Not because I was ready, but because not knowing was worse. I needed to hear it from her. All of it. When I walked through the door, Clara was there. Sitting on the edge of the couch like a statue. Her face hollow, eyes ringed with dark circles. She looked up. You came back. I didn't speak. I just sat across from her. Talk, I said finally. My voice was barely a whisper. She broke. Tears streamed down her face as words tumbled out, a confession without filter. It had started a month and a half ago. Victor had singled her out in class, praising her work, her talent. Inviting her to stay after, to discuss technique. Offering wine, attention, compliments she hadn't realized she was starving for. One thing led to another. Lines blurred. The first kiss. The first night. The guilt that followed, and yet, the pull of it, too. I didn't plan for this, she sobbed. I swear, Tom. I was so lonely. You were always working late. I felt invisible. And when he noticed me, That's the excuse? My voice cracked. I was working to provide for us. You think that gives you permission to do this? No, she whispered. No, it doesn't. Nothing does. I hate myself for it. I wanted to scream. To rage. But all I felt was numb. She kept going. It wasn't love, she said. Not really. It was validation. A sick, selfish escape. The thrill of feeling wanted, desired, of being seen. But after what happened, after the message I'd found, it shattered her. She'd wanted to tell me, to end it, but by then it was too late. I sat there, hollowed out. Listening. And then I asked the question I dreaded most. Are you still seeing him? She shook her head violently. No. I ended it. The night you found the message, I blocked him. Quit the course. I swear on everything. I stared at her for a long moment. Searching her eyes for any flicker of deceit. I didn't see any. But trust was another story. I need space, I said finally. I'm not making any promises. Right now, I can't even look at you without seeing him. Without seeing what you did. She collapsed in tears. Tried to reach for my hand. I pulled away. I mean it, Clara. I need to figure out if there's even a marriage left to save. And I left again. The weeks that followed were the hardest of my life. I rented a small apartment. Took time off work. Met with a counselor alone at first, trying to process the storm inside me. The betrayal. The shame. The loss of the life I thought I had. Friends and family weighed in, some urging forgiveness, others saying I should walk away and never look back. But the choice was mine. And the truth is, healing isn't linear. It's messy. One day I'd feel strong, ready to move forward, then the next, I'd be drowning in bitterness and doubt. Clara kept reaching out. Letters. Emails. She started therapy, too. Told me she wasn't giving up, that she'd fight for me, for us. That she knew rebuilding trust would take time, maybe years. That she was willing to wait. It was weeks before I agreed to meet. We talked raw, painful conversations that left us both wrecked. But we talked. Little by little, beneath the rubble, I saw glimpses of the woman I'd loved. Not perfect. Not innocent. But human. And for all my pain, I had to face my own part too, the distance I'd let grow between us, the ways I'd stopped truly seeing her. None of that excused her choices. But it helped me understand the cracks. Today? We're still in the thick of it. Still married. Still trying. Some days, I think we'll make it. Others, I wonder if the damage runs too deep. But I made the choice to stay, for now. Not out of weakness, but because I believe in the possibility of redemption. Of growth. I'll never forget what happened. I'll never fully trust in the same blind way I once did. But maybe that's okay. Maybe a wiser love, one forged in fire, is worth more than naive certainty. And if it isn't? At least I'll know I fought for something that mattered. With eyes wide open.